All right, let's dive into a topic that really separates the Python hobbyists from the pros: Args and double Kwargs. Seriously, getting a handle on this is an absolute game changer, not just for your own projects, but for crushing those technical interviews.
Yeah, if you've ever seen those little stars in a function definition and thought, what on earth is that? You are definitely not alone. But stick with me because by the end of this, it's all going to be crystal clear. I promise.
So before we jump into the magic of args and double kwargs, let's take a quick step back to something we're all comfortable with: a normal, everyday Python function. You gotta understand the limits of a regular function to really appreciate why these tools even exist. Okay, look at this super simple greet function. It's built to take exactly one argument, name. Call it with one name, greet a tilde, and it works like a charm. But what happens if you try to give it two names, or none? Python throws a fet, right? You get an error. And that's the problem. What do you do when you have no idea how many arguments you're going to get? And that is where our stars of the show come in. Args and double kwargs are Python's brilliant, elegant solution to that exact problem. They let us build functions that are way more flexible and powerful. Let's break this down with two really simple analogies that'll make this stick. Think of args as a shopping bag. You can just keep tossing items in. 1, 5, 100, it doesn't matter. Python just gathers all those positional arguments up for you and packs them into a tuple. On the other side, you've got stick Kwargs, which is kind of like a contact book. It collects all your named or keyword arguments, like name equals Adagon or age equals 30, and organizes them into a nice clean dictionary. Let's see that shopping bag in action. We've got this add numbers function, and see how it just takes args? Now, when we call it, we can just throw in as many numbers as we want. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inside the function, args scoops them all up, and when we print it, what do we get? A single tuple holding all 4 of our numbers. Easy, right? And now for the contact book. We define print info to accept double star kwargs. When we call it, we pass in these named pieces of information. Name equals Adatilgon, age equals 30. The double star kwargs parameter just collects all of them, and as you can see from the output, it becomes a perfect Python dictionary with the names as keys and the information as values. Okay, we know what they do on their own, but what happens when you want to mix and match them with regular arguments in the same function? Well, there is a golden rule here, a strict order that you absolutely positively have to follow. This order is totally non-negotiable. First up, you have your standard, normal, positional arguments. Then, and only then, comes args to collect any extra positional ones. After that, you can have your keyword only or default arguments. And finally, bringing up the rear is double kwargs to scoop up any leftover named arguments. Get this order wrong and your code just won't work. Let's check out a professional example that puts all these pieces together. This create user function demands a username that's a standard argument. Then, our roles acts as our shopping bag, letting us pass in admin, editor, whatever we want. Active is a keyword argument with a default value of true. And double keyword extra info is our catch-all contact book for any other details, like country equals USA. See how powerful and flexible this makes the function? All right, now for my favorite part, because this is where you really unlock the superpowers. Those little star operators, they're not just for defining functions. You can also use them when you're calling a function. It's called argument unpacking, and it is so cool. So imagine you've got your data all neat and tidy in a Python dictionary like this. We've got keys for name and age. And just notice, those keys have the exact same names as the parameters in a function we want to call. Now, instead of manually typing out print info name equals Adelgon, age equals 30, we can do something way cleaner. We just call the function, and we put 2 stars right in front of our dictionary. That double star is basically a command to Python. It says, hey, take this dictionary, open it up, and use its key value pairs as the keyword arguments for this function. And just like that, it's the exact same thing. That one clean line is identical to the longer manual version. This is a total game changer for writing clean code, especially if you're looking with things like config files or data from an API. And by the way, the same idea works with a single star: unpack a list or a tuple into positional arguments. So you've got the mechanics down. Let's wrap up by talking about where you'll actually see this stuff in the wild. And pay attention here, a classic trap that interviewers absolutely love to ask about. I mean, this isn't just theory. You see args and double kwargs everywhere in professional Python code. They're the secret sauce behind decorators,
They make logging functions incredibly versatile, and they're essential for handling web requests in big frameworks like Django and Flask. So mastering them is a huge step toward working with these advanced tools.
All right, lean in for this next bit. Seriously, understanding this doesn't just make you a better programmer. It could literally be the difference between passing and failing a tough technical interview. On the left, you see the trap. It looks so innocent, doesn't it? Setting a default argument to an empty list. But here's the problem. Python creates that list one time, just once when the function is first defined. So every time you call the function without providing your own list, you're actually modifying the same exact list over and over again. This leads to some really bizarre and hard to find bugs. The correct way, the professional way, is on the right. You default to none. Then, inside the function, you check for none and create a brand new list every single time. This ensures each function call is clean and independent. So let's do a super quick final recap. Remember, Args is your shopping bag for positional arguments. It gives you a tuple. Kwargs is your contact book for named arguments. It gives you a dict. And don't forget their superpower. You can use the stars when you call a function to unpack lists and dictionaries for incredibly clean and dynamic code. And there you have it. You've just leveled up your Python skills in a big way. This knowledge is the direct foundation for understanding even more advanced stuff like decorators. So now that you've mastered this, what's going to be next on your Python journey? Thanks for tuning in.